Hi again, it's Jackie Shelley, and I'm back. I just recorded a segment a few minutes ago, and I said I was going to do some more tonight while my enthusiasm still holds. So here I am. Um, One of the things that just came up in my first video blog of the evening is this idea of failure. And I said I'm struggling to figure out what I'm doing here. Like, what is my topic exactly? What am I trying to do? And I started these video blogs after World Domination Summit last summer. I had a sense, I've done a few video projects in the last year for various things. Um, and actually, I'll just start there. The first video project I remember doing was a job application. There was a position open working for Jonathan Mead, and they requested a video submission as part of their interview process, and that was the first time that I recorded video of myself and put something together and realized like, wow, I actually like talking to a camera and this is kind of fun. And then I did some goofy things. And they're still up on YouTube. There's all sorts of things up there. The one I did for Jonathan Mead is still there. I did a really silly segment where I interviewed myself to be CEO of my own company. I had started a consulting company called Front Row Antics, and I interviewed myself to be CEO and did some really really silly script writing for that, and that was really a lot about learning to edit and use iMovie and this sort of stuff that I didn't really know how to do. So I did some of those, and then probably my favorite project previous to starting this video blog stuff. I don't know where I was going with this, but my favorite project was something called the Us Guys Clock In. So Us Guys is or was a Twitter hashtag that I used to participate in a lot, and I believe it's still going on, but I'm not very active on it anymore. But about maybe 6 months ago, I don't know exactly, they had started this tradition of an evening clock-in where people would post videos, and something got into me, and I discovered the iMovie templates when I was trying to create my Us Guys Clock-in video. I volunteered to do this, and so I found these templates, and there's this one with this crazy spy music, and I used the template and put together just a bunch of footage I had lying around of me and my kids, and I reused a lot of the footage I had shot for the Jonathan Mead interview, um, including this really silly scene of me with a puppet, a shark puppet, and anyway, there's all this stuff. But so I had all this footage and I threw it together and realized after doing that project that I really like being on video. I'm not afraid to sit here and talk to kids. In fact, this is awesome. Like, I love to talk. I love to talk to people. Like, if I have a chance, I would just sit around and talk to people all day, and like, this is a chance to talk and like not get interrupted and not have anybody distract me and ask me weird questions, and um, I don't know. So I figured out that I like this, and I guess that could be reason enough to do it, right? I mean, just like, hey, I like it, it's fun. But I went to World Domination Summit, and I go there every year. And I've told this, in fact, the first video blog I posted was kind of about the story of how I ended up there. And every year I kind of ask myself, like, what am I doing here? All these people are here and they're all out doing these amazing things. They're changing the world, or they're traveling, they're adventuring, they're doing, like, even something as simple as yoga classes, or people were jumping out of airplanes. I don't know. People were doing this crazy stuff all over the place, and I'm like, what am I doing here? I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And the message that I took away from last year's was just this sense of like, get out there and do something. I mean, so I came home and I knew I had done these video projects, and I knew that I wanted to do something. And none of this yet has anything to do with failure, which is where I started, right? Like, I have this sense that people don't like for me to talk about failure. There's this sort of sense that like if I think people are afraid to be labeled a failure. Like there's um, this really negative energy around the idea of saying like, oh, that person is a failure. Like, um, and there's a lot of fear too. I mean, a lot of these people that I'm interacting with online are all about entrepreneurship or business marketing or something, and there's a lot of real fear there because so many businesses do fail, or so many people are trying to do things that are out of the ordinary, and so there's this fear of failure. And one thing that is a recurring theme for me, I would say, is doing it wrong. Like, I'm really good at doing it wrong, in a lot of ways. I've sort of, when I think back over maybe my career is what comes to mind. There's certainly a light in which I could look back at my career and say that I've had successes. I think my favorite way to put a positive spin on it when I'm doing this sort of sell yourself thing that people keep wanting me to do, brand like self brand. What is it self branding? Like, I can't think of the term, but people, you're supposed to sell yourself. You're supposed to like make yourself out to be this awesome, like, and I am awesome. Like, I don't get this like dishonest sort of need to like make yourself out to be super sexy and successful. And I mean, it's confusing. This is a confusing topic, but failure and doing it wrong. So in one sense, I have had successes. The way that I think of it when I want to make myself feel good about myself is, I was a college professor by the age of 25, or, I got my master's degree. I had 2 children in natural childbirth. I didn't use any drugs. Like these really hard things that I've done that were amazing and took a lot of courage and energy. I've been diagnosed with adult attention deficit disorder. I've talked about this in some of my segments, and no, you can't tell that my brain hops around from subject to subject at all. I never get distracted. I always stay super focused and on task. Yes. So, one of the things that I've done that's incredibly difficult was I made it all the way through graduate school and got my master's degree, and I did that without the aid of medication. I didn't try any medication until much later, and now once I have tried various medications to help treat ADD, I am astonished at all the incredible things that I accomplished without the aid of medication. So if I want to put a spin on things and make myself out to be successful, I sort of have the material at hand to convince myself, like, yes, you can do things, you're awesome, like, accomplished, whatever that may be. And that seems to be sort of the way people are pushing me to present myself. And I'm not very good at that because, for one thing, I'm not, I'm a liar, but I'm a terrible liar, which is a contradiction. I have a tendency to tell the honest, direct truth at the weirdest times, mostly when it's not to my advantage, and I have a tendency to lie and obfuscate and just be really private at moments when I should tell the truth. And I don't know if I should be admitting to any of this on camera, but I'm talking about failure here, right? And one of the things that's happened over and over is that I've tried things and been really terrible at them over and over again, and sort of failed repeatedly. And each time I do something that I fail at, I mean, I can't even think of an example that I can pull out here, because this is the thing, is like we're so encouraged to not fail and to not label ourselves as failures that it's like I got really good at hiding my failures, and that leads to a really strange bind, because failure is how we learn. I sent an email to someone this week talking about I'm unemployed again. This time I've quit the last job that I had for personal reasons. And a whole bunch of my whole life is in a mess basically, from financial to mental health to relationships to everything. It's been chaos for multiple years now, and every time I seem to get a piece of solid ground under my feet, I sort of kick it loose again, or I jump off of it or something. So I had emailed this person to say, you know, here I am again. I'm back in pick myself up, dust myself off, and start again mode. And this is probably like the sixth or seventh time that I've written to this friend and said something similar. And this time he wrote back and he said, you know, have you considered that maybe this is part of learning to walk? Like, kind of the metaphor is, you know, if you think of a young child learning how to stand up and walk, and they fall down many times and they have to get back up again and try again, and eventually they learn to walk, you know. And I just, something got into me and I answered this email like quick without even thinking, and I said, what is this walking you're talking about? I'm trying to fly here. You know. And so I feel like as long as I sort of hold on to that attitude, I think I'll be okay. But I think we need to get rid of this knee-jerk reaction to the idea of failure. I'm increasingly less scared of just getting out here and saying, like, look, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I see all these cool things people are doing, writing and blogging and doing things on the internet and marketing and Twitter. And I mean, I love all of this stuff. I'm really passionate about new technology, and especially its potential to make really like societally changing, like what is the term, sea change, right? These things that are just gonna I get a sense that there's just going to be these massive shifts in the way people use technology, and this is potentially world changing. Like, it's really it's amazing to watch it unfold, and it's exciting, and I'm really optimistic about it. But at the same time, like, I don't know what I'm doing in this space, and I haven't known. And every time I sort of try to find a niche, and I say, okay, I'm going to go into social media marketing, or I'm going to go and I'm going to do, I was doing CSS and HTML and web stuff, and I've done a whole bunch of different things in the last couple of years, and now here I am doing video blogging of some kind, and also regular writing, blogging, online stuff. So I'm doing all of this, and I'm trying things. And I remember going to a presentation, I think at the first World Domination Summit, and the presentation was on how to become a professional speaker. And the couple that was giving the presentation, and I unfortunately don't remember their names offhand, but they talked about their process of learning how to do this professionally, and how to make money at it, and how to run a business doing it. And they referred to it as throwing spaghetti against the wall. Like, they just kept trying things, and then they would see what stuck, and then if something stuck, then they kept doing it. So I think maybe that's where I wanted to go with the talk about failure. But also just to talk about it is helpful to me. I'm not here with answers. I'm here with a lot of things in my head, and I should also point out, this has nothing to do with failure or with anything other than I have no pants on. And I don't know how to say your name, Jen, but there's this lady on Facebook, and her name is Jen VideoBlog6, something like that. And I met her at Blog World, and she had bright pink hair at the time, which I thought was completely awesome. But she posted the other day to Facebook that everything gets better when you have no pants. And one of the things about video blogging is that you don't have to wear pants. So as long as you don't direct the camera downward. So I just wanted to like end on that note. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm a failure, and I have no pants. Nice talking to you.